the president to nominate and the council, yes it did, and the council to appoint. That next month, it was in effect, that the council does it. We had a problem.
We had just had a workshop in regards to this issue.
I'm giving you
And
the law.
the person that taught that particular workshop indicated to us at that time that the law stated that we would make the appointment, not the president, you know. And she placed it in the right, she gave us the books, the new books, which had that information in it.
Any other discussion?
You remember the comment that night, don't you?
Just a minute, she had
You know, the treasurer at the voting assembly.
was she talking about me?
What did I say? Please, roll call, please.
Trustee Poderski.
No.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Spear.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
No.
Trustee Tidwell.
No, but is that something?
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
President Kincaid.
Yes.
Motion
Sydney
carried.
abstained herself from voting purposes in regard to him.
She did.
Foreclosed properties. Foreclosed properties, you guys got a list and a
As far
map?
as I'm concerned, I'm still the president's role. And I will be updated as an attorney.
Look,
Look into this.
Mike, please. Point of order. Trustee Davis, will you go back and forth with this and move point right now, please?
Right, although I will state that that's one of the reasons why I brought this forward is because of what Attorney Davis had put in her boxes, because of the actual law process that I put into the process. And I felt that
Right. All right, thank you. Next, foreclosed properties. Macomb County gave us a list of properties. There's 10 properties, $47,000. Either we can purchase those properties or let them go to auction.
I move that we let them go to auction.
Second, okay, there was a gentleman interested in purchasing those properties. The foreclosed list, there's in your packet. There's 10 properties, $47,000. But you got a motion on the
Well,
table?
motion, that don't mean it's dead, that means it's discussion time.
Yeah, okay, the gentleman was, he looked at the properties, I believe he contacted Attorney Davis. There's 10 parcels, I think out of 10 of them, the gentleman had value, like there's that, what's the street, Hortense? Horton Street, and it's a dead end street that you can't even build on, a couple of them are in the floodplain. There's 10 parcels, either we purchase them and sell them, or they go to the county for auction. June 30th is the auction, you gotta let the county know by July 12th, I'm sorry, July 30th is the auction. Yeah, right, that's right. And we gotta let the county know by Friday what we're gonna do with the properties. And the motion is to let them go.
so now this guy, but
Well, you sending somebody that, I'm sorry.
but he wants to purchase them all.
You can't cherry pick,
No,
no.
but I'm saying that this gentleman wants to purchase them.
Right,
So
it has to be first, you can't go, the county has to go to open bid.
So we would take them and then he could buy them.
Right.
What's our guarantee that he'll purchase them from us?
Oh, you can ask them right now.
And if they go to
Oh.
the county, if they
I
go
need
to the
certified
county.
funds right now.
They go to the county, then it goes to auction, and what
Right,
happens
then,
is,
last year.
we get a charge, it's called a chargeback, and we get billed periodically, where, this ain't the county, keep the paper down, county makes us whole if somebody don't pay taxes, and there's a gap in between. So what happens is, if the property sold for $5 grand, it was really 20 grand, we had to pay the county back 15 grand, it's called the chargeback. So, it's called a chargeback. The gentleman said if you certify funds to purchase it, it's, you know, this council discretion, the motion was by trustee Harrison, trustee Gursky to let them go to auction. It's up to discretion of this council, but we need to vote on the initial motion first. Roll call the motion to,
Make a motion that they go.
oh, no, you can't, we already got a motion on the table. Motion to let them go back to auction.
You want to do
Wait
roll
a
call?
minute, didn't it purchase the land already?
Listen, every year, we get new foreclosed properties.
Oh, the property went to foreclosure.
Right.
Every year that.
Every year, right, you get a list, like you do every year.
You get first shot at it.
Right, then it goes to open up auction, July 30th. So, we're kind of get a roll call, please, clerk, Mac?
Trustee Tidwell.
What was the motion for the?
To let them go to auction.
Yes.
Trustee Hill.
No.
Trustee Davis.
No.
Trustee Steer.
No.
Trustee Poderski.
No.
Trustee Harris.
No.
President Kincaid.
No.
Motion failed.
I'll entertain a new motion. We gotta let the county know by Friday.
I make a motion that we allow the private buyer to purchase all the properties.
Can you get a dollar amount for that motion, please?
Can we?
No, we gotta purchase it.
We have to purchase it.
Wait, all I get a motion for right now is for us to purchase the property for the county.
In the amount.
Yeah, you gotta have a dollar amount too.
What was it, 47,000?
Yeah, go ahead, trustee Gray.
I'll make a motion to purchase the properties on the foreclosure list for 2013 provided by Macomb County in the amount of $47,597.99
That's for all 10?
Yes.
with stipulation that the village receives the check, cashier's check. Can I finish?
I don't mean to interrupt Trustee Gursky, but you should do two different motions because you can't do the same transaction.
Okay, go ahead. That's the first one.
Okay.
I'll drop this one. I'll finish this.
I'll second Trustee Gursky's motion to purchase it, now discussion on the motion of purchasing the property.
One of the trustees up here had a conniption when we purchased land and said we're not in the real estate business.
We're not, and I still say that.
I'm trying to think about what you said back then about purchasing land. I don't understand why we purchased the land for someone to purchase it from us. Why are we doing it?
Well, what you want to put here is like a tax roll. I can't answer for Mr. Harris, but like I said, the process is, once a private individual purchases it, it gets back on the tax roll. Right now,
We have it done, be on the tax.
right,
So
so.
it's in foreclosure, it's owned by the banks, right?
No.
County also, like, every year, we've been doing two settlements to the board.
It's something different.
No, it's not. You go through a foreclosure process, there's a sheriff's sale, there's the whole process. Every year, Macomb County gets the list. It basically, you go around county, some orange stickers on, Macomb County's foreclosed on that property. Ever since we've been sitting up here, every year we get this list around this time. There's properties on that property. You can't cherry pick, you can't say, there's a prior line in the Coral Park on the purchase. You gotta do all 10 lots. You either purchase those or those are auction, which is July 30th. July 30th, a private individual will come in and say, I want to purchase those, or they not get sold. Then you go to September, then October's the final auction. The issue that you look at, it goes to October, I'll give you an example. The property may be delinquent for $18,000. A guy can go to the final auction and buy it for $7,000. The village is responsible for that $11,000 difference, that's a charge back.
So you're saying the property wasn't obtained by the county because of past due taxes?
Right.
It was or it wasn't?
It was.
That's what I was saying, it's not foreclosure, but due to past.
Well, that's what they call it foreclosure sale.
Okay.
Can
20 days,
I
right?
just say a couple of things? The properties are valued at $47,000. If they go to auction, it doesn't extinguish your liability. You're gonna end up paying something for those properties. You're gonna pay the difference between that value and the value that they're sold at auction. If you're gonna go down the route of having a purchaser buy them for that amount, which makes them whole, it would be my recommendation that those funds be delivered forthwith and held in escrow by the treasurer, pending that. The second thing is that when you transfer the properties, after you're the owner, you must transfer them as is and by quitclaim deed only, so that the person involved needs to understand you're only getting title to the extent we have title. Which, Mr. Dilbert, I can assure you, when it goes through the county process, you know all liens are extinguished. You understand that. So we would only be transferring to you the title that we have. With no reps and warranties, the properties would be conveyed as is.
And that's how you want to get from the county.
Right.
That's all we get.
All right, trustee Taylor.
Can I purchase?
Yes, you
I
can.
got 47,000 certified funds.
If you want to, they cut, first one to sell them. The motion right now is to first purchase the properties from the county.
Okay. Well, this is my first time hearing about it, so,
It's in your package.
I like to take a look at them and,
All right. If we decide to purchase them, because I need a roll call for the matter, for purchase the properties from the county.
Trustee Steer. Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Poderski.
Yes.
Trustee Tidwell. Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Hill. You said no? Okay. President Kincaid.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, now trustee Burgess can make your second motion.
Second motion.
She wanted to purchase, now you gotta sell, you purchased the
Oh.
property, now you gotta sell it. I know we're not gonna hold on
You
to
sent
it.
it to the county, yeah?
Trustee Hill, we purchased the property to get it back on the tax roll. Now we need to sell the property. You can just make a
Okay,
motion.
wait a minute. How you can sell something you haven't even transferred the deeds and everything to the village?
What, you ain't heard the motion yet.
But you just said it. You just said
Well,
it.
this is
Correct.
what the motion needs to be. We acquired the property, we just took action on, which we will notify the county. We will get all property deeded to us. Our next step is to take the highest bidder and sell the property to the private individual.
I have a friendly amendment to that.
I'm not making a
No,
motion.
you
I'm
make your
just trying to-
motion.
Can we get a motion, or we gonna keep the properties? Then we need a motion,
Are you making a motion yet? No. Make it.
please.
What he said, with the addition,
That's what they take them out.
Got that cleared, man?
sorry.
She's been working over fast.
The motion is
embarrassing.
to sell the acquired property from Macomb County to a private individual. We can set the highest bidder, Attorney Davis suggests we put in the escrow. How are we gonna formulate that motion?
So moved, but with the addition of, in the amount of over $47,597.99 or above.
Accept.
Second.
Nothing below.
Obviously. Can we, any discussion on that motion?
I'm sorry, I have to.
Go ahead, trustee Hill.
I'm trying to understand why this village purchased land to sell it to a private individual. Why don't we just go ahead and buy it?
And we purchase, and we buy it
No,
now.
I'm just
We
saying,
put
why
it in
can't
the
the
bill.
individual just go ahead and buy the land themselves?
They go through it one at a time.
We buy it, we gonna pay taxes. Look, we don't pay taxes. They buy it, they pay taxes.
She needs to understand this. If $47,000, if it goes to auction and it gets auctioned off for 20, we still have to pay the county the difference between 20 and 47. If we can get it back into our hands and sell it for the whole amount of 47, it'll be one of the first years you come out whole.
You don't pay county
Does that
money.
make sense?
And I need the friendly amendment to make sure that it is for this.
You understand that?
Because I,
Roll call,
Wait,
please.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
No, trust me, I want to get out of here quicker than you.
Go ahead.
So now, are we gonna have, this is what I guess I'm trying to figure out, so now are we an auction house now where we're trying to accept the highest bidder, or how long are we gonna have these properties?
They get a certified check to the treasurer, put in escrow.
I say that we make a friendly amendment to whoever comes with the funds.
Certified check to the clerk, I mean to the treasurer. Put in escrow.
Why, I'm just trying to understand what we're doing here. Why not?
It's gonna be made whole, not in the profit.
Oh, we're not trying to make, we're trying to be made whole so we don't get charged back. That's the whole purpose. We're not trying to get in the auction house or the bidding or whatever process. We just want to be made whole. So the first one that makes us whole, get us back on the tax roll, that's what we're gonna do.
So it's not gonna go out to bid, it's whoever comes in to purchase.
You know what, let's do this. God, I agree. At August meeting, the treasurer can report to us the certified checks, funds are in escrow. At that time, we can relinquish and transfer the keys to whoever has the certified funds with the treasurer in escrow. Does that simplify things?
It's not about this simple, I'm asking, does some ordinance require us to put it out for bid? That's what I'm asking. If we selling land, should it go out for bid?
Now, if we make this motion to do it the other way, we don't, it doesn't.
So that won't violate our ordinance?
No, not to make a motion and you accept the motion.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Hill,
No.
trustee Tidwell,
Yes.
Trustee Podolsky.
Yes.
Trustee Steer.
Yes.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
President Kincaid.
Yes.
Motion was whoever had the 45,000.
No, 47, certified
47,597.99.
to,
And escrow.
Or above.
August 9th.
no, the treasurer first, in escrow. Because if you get there tomorrow, consent agenda, trustee Hill, Guerrero, and Harris had questions on this.
Okay.
I'll start with trustee Hill and work our way around.
Under the clerk's report, it had, May, you see the same dollar amount twice. I think either the month is wrong, because the calculation was like it's off. You have to cover your check. First page. Okay, it got for the month of June 2013, 246,000. President approval for the month of June, 140,000. Payroll for the month of June, 32,000. The cost of payroll, 9,485. For the month of June, 2013, 182,000. So I'm trying to understand what's the total for the month of June, because I got 248 up here at the start and then it ends with 182.
The check register is the top for the month.
So this
We've
is the
already-
check register.
Right. We've already approved the professional bills from last month. We've got to take that total out of the check register.
Okay.
And that's the approval, the president's approval
The
amount.
140 out of the 248.
Right. And then the other two are the payroll and the expenses from payroll. That gives you the bottom, the actual for the month. Where's mine?
Are we gonna be getting some reports from these other departments? I know you've been.
You know, I wish we had some of these meetings so we can get some reports. I know we haven't had ways and means the last couple of months. We haven't had, I think they did have a park spread, like you said, we haven't had water and sewer. There's a couple other reports that I think we definitely should have. And I think with the ways and means, like there was a motion by this council last month. Thank you, ma'am. That had the fire department come before ways and means. I don't think you guys have met in 2 months. So maybe we can look at, if there's a scheduling conflict, maybe, resource committees, but I agree, we didn't have reports.
The reason I'm asking about that is because we have like employees concerned on the agenda, but we have employee relations, but there's no report, so why is it on the agenda if they haven't made it to
We
employee
haven't
relations?
given that a point, they, or basically, remember
I
that.
thought you did.
They did.
Who was on that committee?
There's only 2 people.
Me, Steer, and,
There's only 2, I'm sure.
And then it's
Well,
still one, because we had an issue, how can he?
yeah, so you had an issue with,
Just like we-
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Thank you. And I just want to start seeing some reports, because we don't need to get planning commission reports.
And that comes from the liaison to the plan. Trustee Guerrero, you had a point.
Hey, if everybody looks at the checkbook register, the check disbursement report, page 1 of 8. Check number 33841. Do we know if that check's been voided out and destroyed?
What check you said?
Grand Trunk, Esther.
I have it in the safe. The grand truck, those 2 checks. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the village, we didn't approve that as
Right. Any other questions, trustee Guerrero?
There's something for printing that I remember what it was for. PDQ printing,
Those are the checks that we had to reprint.
did we get billed for those twice?
Well, we had to,
Well, this was the first one because
Right.
that's that, this is the wrong set then.
right, that's correct. We got to pay for those too.
Trustee Harris?
2 things.
I'm sorry.
One is actually just what you were just talking to Trustee Hill. And we haven't had any meeting. One was because, and I don't know if it's scheduling conflict, but when we did call Ways and Means meeting and I think the Parks and Recs, there was 2 of us there, and that was 2 months ago. And then when we had,
We try to do ways and means for later.
we tried to do a Ways and Means, yeah, it was set 7 o'clock. Then I think you said you could make it at 8 o'clock. Well, I don't know about travel, my schedule ain't gonna be flipping flopping like that. But it was set for Thursday nights. So I guess my question is Thursday nights bad night for those meetings?
I just need to know ahead of time
This
so I
is-
can take off work.
And this is what I said.
They already set, what do you mean ahead of time?
Hold on, let me ask you a question
The
first.
agenda
Harris.
until
4.
four.
I guess,
You always got it that way.
hold on, can you be respectful, please? The committee meetings you can change, but ordinance dictates the ways and means, so it has to be the 3rd Thursday.
Okay, well, she the one that said that she don't know.
Well, this is what I'm saying, this is what I suggested. And we can communicate, if you can't sit on those committees and make those meeting times, then we need to look at other individuals to sit on those committees, if that's an issue, because you have to have the ways and means. That's technically, by ordinance, we have the ways and means meeting. So we need to look at, if that's an issue, then we need to look at addressing that. But I know, for instance, like I said, we asked for the fire department to come in, the fire chief to come and look over the budget, and I want to do the DPW and the same with the ways and means, but there has to be no meeting. And like I said, we can address that, prior to hopefully next meeting and have confirmed committee appointments.
Well, can we address it now? Don't, we're gonna be another month out the way. You know, this village, we drag everything on. There's not one thing got done positive with this board since I've been back on this board. We did nothing positive. And there's a lot of things out there that could happen in this village.
We got signed in.
You got what?
We got
Sign
signed in.
it.
The one complaint.
And I'm serious about that. You know, we do a lot of bickering back and and there's nothing moving forward. We table a lot of things, we don't move, and,
Well, I think
I agree.
most of the reason I think is because information comes to you one day before the meeting. If stuff starts coming the way it should come, and you have documentation in front of you before the meeting, and then you can do your research, that you don't have to come in here 2 hours from 8 to 5, and try to obtain that information, then maybe we can work together as a team to get things done. But because stuff come at the last minute, yeah, things will be tabled because you want to get a clear understanding of what you're reviewing.
I would agree with you on some extent, trustee, but I go back to I hate to say it, I agree with Mr. Harris, the master plan, we've been tabling it for 6 months. I mean,
Well,
there's no excuse for that.
Nobody showed up.
Right, the planner came, gave us his time free to do a presentation, nobody showed up. So that's no justification and stuff like that. I agree with some stuff being last minute, and like the proposal, we shouldn't have took action on the reliability study, because no one see the numbers. So unfortunately, that got tabled until another time, but the justification is, you have an ordinance that we have to abide by with things like ways and means. You can't, put it off table, planning commission, they had to have a certain amount of meetings still, but it's set by ordinance. I mean, we can make excuses and justifications, but the point is, people want to see action. They don't care about, inability to do your duties. They care about how it affects them and what actions you're taking. Trustee Pekurski.
Can we make the Ways and Means meeting for August 18th and Chief and Marcus Lee? Oh, there we are, sorry.
She's already got set dates for.
Well, that's the next
the
day,
day.
that's
No.
Thursday.
Yes, it is the 3rd Thursday.
No,
August 15th, I'm sorry.
No, we in July.
No, it's July.
But that's the issue that you bring up.
July is 18th.
July, so we're going to
She
skip
said
3 months
August
of
18th.
not having ways and means.
Well, first of all, we should have had an agenda for it this week. Wasn't that well done? And
Agenda been
I'm
set for
allowed to
2.
go on vacation.
Yeah, you're right, you're wrong, you do what you please. What I'm saying is, it's been 3 months we've asked.
And that's why I'm asking if we could make sure that we have it August 15th and have Fire Chief and Mr. Dilbert come prepared to the meeting with their items for the budget.
You said August 15th, so you were skipping July?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's 3 months.
So you talk about that in August meeting then. When we do this, when we get a schedule of what days that each committee can meet, and just put a schedule together, and those would be the days, just like you do the planning and everyone else.
All right, we running along, sir, can we get a,
Well, I have one more thing, the village, and the Norwegian nuisance, and it's been going around the village. There's a number of homes that have swimming pools in their backyards that doesn't have fences up. They need fences, I'm telling you, we lose one kid or something like that, it's
You have one swimming pool that's abandoned, actually, the house is abandoned and the swimming pool is full.
well,
That was great.
yeah.
Thank you.
then, those things we need to look at. Now, the weeds itself in these foreclosed homes or homes that people have taken off, I don't suggest that the village does the cutting on those. I suggest we get a contractor or so to come in and cut those lots
Okay.
and put it on the tax roll, but we have to send them a letter.
Can we adopt the consent agenda? We still need to do that. And I see you're turn around the door, we got the consent agenda.
What's that? Oh, no, I'm not trying to run for the door, I'm a big guy, I can only sit for so long, I have a backwards.
Can we,
I think a motion.
Can we go?
I'll second it.
Can I make a motion to let some of the people who sat through all of this say something to you guys?
When it calls for the court, we will.
Thank you.
He can, attorney gave make a motion, I second it. Roll call, please.
Okay,
What you
one
want?
Okay, trustee Podolsky,
No.
trustee Hill, trustee Steer,
Yes.
trustee Tidwell,
No. What's your motion?
accept the consent agenda.
Oh,
Trustee Davis,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
yes,
President Kincaid,
Yes.
motion carried.
Call from the floor, this gentleman right here first. State your name for the record.
Name Jason White.
Yes, sir.
I like everybody else here, I've obviously been raising my hand with all kinds of table this, table that. I'd actually like to make a motion to remove that clock so that you guys aren't all looking up there trying to figure out if you can just push something else off to the next week or next month. Because that's what's actually gotten us into this kind of a mess from what I've been saying. You're talking about, in 2009 is when the vote took place for the project, for the interceptor. It's all of this
no,
plan.
that's not correct.
No.
Okay, but when was the plan laid out for us?
Address the tape, the chair. What, 2009 was the water project, the interceptor sewer. Nobody voted on that. That was the consent agreement with Congress.
Court
But when did we know about that court order? That's what I'm asking.
Waiting for anybody else to sat on this table. It was 2002, 2000.
Okay, but that's my point is, if we knew about it back in 2002, why are we just now getting to the point where we're all trying to budget for it and pushing bigger costs on everybody?
Costs, when you signed that consent agenda were this big, and the costs that the county now wants you to pay.
Sir, I don't know if you got the map of this, but this is 2013 payments. Some of your payments don't come due until after it's bonded.
Sure.
So the payments start 2013 for some phases of it, and the cost obviously increased.
So essentially, a lot of people came out here mainly because of two different reasons. One of them was for the garbage, the landfill. The other one was also for the raising the taxes or raising the water bill, that kind of thing. To see as many people as actually showed up, from what I understand, 10 people come here to these meetings, and now you have an entire group of people come out to see the way that everything just went down and transpired. Are you guys embarrassed at all?
Yes,
In any way, shape, or form? Are you even like, is this a full-time job for everybody here, or anybody?
No.
Shouldn't be.
No,
It's, why is it so hard for anybody to get any kind of information? And the last meeting I came to, I overheard she was looking for figures. You had it in a completely different book. You're in your own world. And somebody else had their own kind of book. So, I mean, we had 3 or 4 different things going on. Nobody can get the same page.
Well, and that's why you get the county to give you exact numbers, so you know who you're paying, how much you're paying, right?
Right.
And that's why I want you to get the county here. I don't want you to take my word, I want you to get the exact facts and figures, and that way, Macomb County is really paid. This is their statement, not my word, not her word, not someone else's word. This is the bill, this is what we pay, this is what's allocated, and that's the purpose.
I'll ask.
That's for the sewer.
Right, but the question was raised at the last meeting. You were saying that you couldn't get into the building to get the facts and figures.
she's not here.
Were you able to get into the building in the last 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, they actually, what I was having problems with was getting the local ordinances, some of the laws, the special assessment ordinance that stated when we could put something onto someone's tax bill, which was taken care of anyways because someone else approved the taxes and someone else did the special assessments.
So everything's already been done, so why is it that when we come here and everybody's got the information that they need, we have to table everything and keep pushing it off? Is it?
I still didn't get the information. It was done.
Oh, so you don't have the information?
I don't have that information.
I guess that's the only question I can ask.
All right.
Are the numbers as bad as they were 2 weeks ago?
No.
No, that,
That's why I guess, you didn't explain
He's gonna have
anything.
to.
I mean, I have that sheet, but when we were here 2 weeks ago, we were $500,000 in debt. Where were we gonna get this money?
We're still there.
he said, there's a year, the man back in the white shirt on, hand up, he goes, Mr. Thompson, next.
Right, I got all that.
My name is Lori Lawrence.
So they still have to
I live in Core Park, and I just want to make a comment about, we've had a lot of recent break-ins, cars, people stealing stuff, vandals, or at least people around. I live right across from the school, so we see a lot of people loitering around late at night, 11 p.m. or whatever. So I just want, if there's something we can ask the sheriff's department or someone to make, at least more patrols around the school.
And actually, Trustee Jersey brought it to my attention, and at August meeting, I'll have the sheriff here so he can voice all our concerns.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Thompson, and then the gentleman here, Mr. Sheriff.
It just seems like today, there was a motion made on this landfill and the first step towards going forward in the landfill. I have a client that owns both Meadow Creek and Riverbrook, and they asked me to be here tonight to see what was going on. But it seems like such a large step forward, the first step towards approving the landfill, it was done almost with no fanfare or no advance notice to people. I mean, I was called at 5 o'clock tonight from one of the owners of the development that, could you go to that meeting for me? Because I just got emailed something that said this item on the agenda, he wrote landfill on it, and the item on the agenda had nothing to do with what the discussion was what people were voting on today was that first step towards a landfill. We've got a landfill that's, what, I don't know, 230 acres or whatever it is, and I heard a gentleman today here say that's good for 90 years. Why do we need a second landfill adjacent to the first landfill unless the first landfill is going to close? And if he's got 90 more years to operate, I won't really care, but we don't really need another landfill next door to one that's got a 90-year lifespan. And this whole thing was done with the agenda here. The item was resolution on community development project discussion. That's pretty innocuous. That's pretty indiscreet for voting on something as important as a landfill in the neighborhood that, quite honestly, isn't even in the village of New Haven.
Correct.
It's in Lennox Township. So it just seems like, we're reaching for money, and I don't blame everybody for reaching for money. If you're going to get, a $700,000 check and you owe $800,000, you're going to reach for that money. But you know what? This town, I've been here all my life, this town can do better for itself than looking for a landfill or a casino to solve the problem. Thank you.
Mr. Thompson, gentleman right here, the sheriff.
I was just gonna reiterate his point. Basically, I came here for the water. I didn't even know anything about this proposed landfill or anything, and it seemed like it got railroaded. I mean, you yourself were raising your voice, hitting your gavel, trying to get people to, quiet down and everything. We were raising legitimate concerns. I mean, like I said, I didn't even know that it was coming up here, and all of a sudden, you guys basically, you guys just approved, you guys just pledged that you will support them if it goes to the county level. That's what just happened right now, right? For the next 2-year process,
We're taking
18 months, or whatever you mentioned it might be, that New Haven will unyieldingly support them. I mean, we might critique them privately, but at the county level and beyond, we have just pledged for the next 18 months to support them in their efforts, that company themselves, to get a landfill in Lennox, right? Correct. And has this been discussed or brought up? I just checked the village website. I see no documents
I just
about
got
it
it
to the public.
yesterday.
Has it been discussed at prior meetings?
No.
You have all these people here who are extremely concerned about this, and you guys just railroaded it through. A 2-year pledge to a private company. Well, I guess.
No.
Why did you table that? Why was there such a quick vote to get that railroaded through? Why didn't you table that? Well, out of all the things to table, you guys just pledged a 2-year commitment to one private company on a vast amount of land, a vast amount of money. We didn't get any comparative votes from, like he just brought up, from, he knows 2 other companies that might be interested or something like that?
No, he works for the the modular home communities in that area.
Okay, I'm sorry.
To answer your question, there was discussion, it was presented. Now, they could have been a motion on the table. There was no motion on the table made.
Well, I would have motioned, but you were.
No, sir, you were. I'm trying to answer your question. Motions have to come from the table, not from the audience.
I realize, I wish somebody would have. I was inside, I was torn up, but I sitting down here, I'm not gonna, So I let it go, I let it proceed. I was hoping somebody would, but.
Well, how could it be motion?
Sir, you had a chance to speak. This is gentleman's term. The deal will be, Mr. Kress.
Can I ask, is there any way to reverse what we just did? Can we make another, next month, can one of you guys make a motion? Is it possible to make a motion to undo what you just did now? For further consideration and maybe perhaps have a workshop to open the general public
You
to
have to be
hear
a person
possible?
that voted yes to amend what they just voted on.
You can have a workshop to discuss it. The motion wants us to rescind it, you can't do that too.
I don't know if I can motion now, but.
Sir, you can't make a motion, you can't make a motion.
I need your
Mr.
name,
Mrs.
though.
Hunter, and then Mrs. Thompson.
Hi, I'm Mr. Kress. I think we're in a unique situation to be in the driver's seat when it comes to this expansion of the landfill is called. Because let's face it, sooner or later, all of that will be landed 400 feet away from the existing landfill. Waste management runs Lennox Township. Lennox Township doesn't tell the waste management what to do. So if we do move forward with it, it's very important that we stay in the driver's seat and we tell them what we want, what we don't want. The odor and such that comes from waste management, that's totally unnecessary. You drive by landfills in Melvindale, Salem Township, 275, 696, they don't smell. A landfill doesn't have to smell. There's odor control. They are reckless of Pine Tree Acres, and we all smell it. Most of the smell came from the fact that during the whole sludge controversy in Detroit, sludge hauling, if you remember that, people went to jail for it. Sludge ended up coming from the Water and Sewer Department and being dumped as daily cover on Pine Tree Acres. That's where most of your odor came from, and that's totally unacceptable. If it's going to be a landfill, it needs to be a solid waste landfill, not accepting sludge. But once again, you'll be in a driver's seat. You can tell them what you want, what you don't want. That's what I like to say.
Thank you, Mr. Kress. Mrs. Hunter?
Shirley Hunter. My first question is, I don't know who to address this to, board member, attorney, or who. My first question is, I'd like the status of track 26. The status, where are we with that? I know it's shut down.
Filed a complaint seeking a cease and desist order because they were in violation of their temporary certificate of occupancy by not completing items on the list. Went to court, got an order that shuts them down, ceases all business operations by them, their representatives, their agents, their successors and assigns, including non-profit type organization events. So it's shut down. That order will be renewed every 30 days by the court if they remain in non-compliance.
So it's not shut down, they have a time limit to.
No, it's shut down.
For how long?
Until they comply with the court
Until
order.
they comply with the court.
Okay, when was court order?
Pardon me?
What was the court order? What are they supposed to comply by?
They have to comply with the terms of their certificate of occupancy.
And what was that?
It was, I think, the initial thing was the bathrooms, and I think the next issue would be the suppression system.
The what system?
Fire
suppression.
And they have a 30-day period, you said?
They're shut, we shut them down already.
Right.
The day we went to court, they were shut down. That order lasts for 30 days. It has a renewable clause by the judge. If they haven't finished all that work in the first 30 days, the order gets extended another 30 days. Then they get another 30 days while they're shut down to try to comply. Eventually, the judge will get tired and shut them down.
Okay, what was the consent of the council for shutting that down? What was the agreement for you as an attorney to go to court for?
To get them shut down.
And have agreement?
Normally, that would take 21 days to have a hearing. We shut them down on the first day.
I'm not very happy with that. But I have
You didn't
say.
want to shut them down on the first day? You want to wait 21 days?
No. I think they should be shut down permanently, to be honest.
That could be the result.
Because we don't need that type of operation in the future. And another question I have, or comment I have, you know, I think it's really, I don't even know the word to use for this council to sit here and, like that other gentleman spoke about, when the people came to this meeting, everything was cut and dry for the landfill. We've been through a landfill. We don't need a landfill. Okay? And I think every council member sitting here should realize that New Haven Village do not need a landfill. I don't think that we should get that desperate for finances that we would have to bow down to a landfill. And I think that people should be informed. They wasn't informed, and the way you had it written on the agenda, it was sneaky and crooked and undermined and underhanded, the way you did that. That is wrong. We have a lot of serious problems here, and I'm praying that God will just do something in this village, because that's what it's gonna take.
Amen.
It's gonna take that, because these councils, you all represent us. You're supposed to be taking care of the you're trusted and trusted to take care of our business, our financial affairs. We don't have no finances. We don't have it. We got more professional fees than we have money to pay. You know, it's a waste of our taxpayer dollars. And I think the residents are just fed up. And I'm one of them. And now we gotta face a landfill, high water rates, and all the, I don't understand it. I don't understand why you people sit here being elected and do this to this community. And it's a terrible disgrace. And you all, every one of you should be ashamed of yourself to say I'm an elected official by the people and supposed to be working for the people. Thank you.
Ms. Thompson, then Mr. Phillips.
You want me to come up there?
Please, fine.
You know, I wish that we could have spoken before they did that vote, because I just had some information that maybe a landfill isn't the only option. If they go to do this, they could do a study on other ways to get rid of garbage than a landfill. There's a process that's been developed that you can take any biodegradable waste and mix it with lawn refuse and wood chips, whatever, and it goes through a process and it comes out clean on the other side. There's no odor, there is no germs or anything in the compost that comes out. It can be put in your garden and you can plant your crops in it. And at the end of this process, you have to bag this, but then you have something that you can sell to Home Depot or Lowe's for it to be sold to the public. There are other options besides landfills, and it just seems like there were no other options thought about except to make a landfill. And that's why I went out and talked to Mr. Rizzo, because whether it ever happens in New Haven, which I hope it doesn't, because New Haven has made a lot of giant steps in the last 10 years, and we have some nice developments. The whole economy stopped, and we all know that, and we're all affected by it. But the whole economy stopped, but now things are looking a little better for everybody, I think. Things are picking up slowly, but they're picking up. And, you know, hopefully, whoever gets the houses that have been abandoned here are going to fix them up, like the one next to my old store right on Main Street was fixed up. That looks very nice now. Makes Bertha's backyard look better and everything. It's a nice home to pass by now. But, you know, the lawns on these houses are overgrown, it's crazy. And, you know, I just hope that, you know, the public steps forward and lets their feelings be known on what is going to happen in the future, because, you know, the school's everything. We're going forward. We have a lot of renovation going on at the high school now. We have a beautiful middle school. We have a beautiful elementary school. And there's no reason that we shouldn't remain proud of our community, and we probably don't need a landfill in our backyard.
Mr. Dilbert and this gentleman right here.
Let's talk about the master plan and the fact that we don't have one. And is it also a fact that not having a master plan excludes you from applying for grants?
Correct.
So there's recreation grants that are passed out through DEQ and Natural Resource Department that we can't even apply for because we don't have a master plan.
Correct.
And there's probably a number of other state agencies and federal agencies that have grant monies that I look at quite often online that we can't apply for because we can't get a master plan.
This gentleman right here in the brown shirt.
Thanks. My name's Tony Albicelli. I live in Decorah Park. I'll try to make this really brief. For those of you that don't know, Decorah Park is a very popular cut-through. Gratiot runs northeast, southwest, obviously, and then people cut through the sub to get to 26. So recently, some stop signs were added to the sub, thank you very much, which helped slow down the traffic that's going through our sub. However, it's still pretty bad. Last week, somebody cutting through the sub ran over and killed a young child's puppy right in front of him. And the kid's devastated, he's scarred. And the woman who did it, you know, she was just doing what everybody else does, and she gets out of her car and she was traumatized by it as well, the person who did it. My request to the board is that we add some more stop signs and put signs in the north and south, both entrances to the south, that say no through traffic. Even if we have to put one of those construction signs that says no road closed to through traffic, but right in the middle of the road on the north end, where there's not really any houses up there. There's no houses up there. If we put that in there, obviously you can still go around if there's still access to the south, but maybe that'll deter people. And it's an inexpensive option. So that's my request. That's number one.
Not to cut you off, sir, but Mr. Dillard,
I've already ordered them.
he already ordered 2 signs to put the no through traffic signs up, so they will be put up. As far as putting up more stop signs, it's a traffic flow issue, and I was concerned with that.
I understand that, but there's still some intersections within the sub that have no traffic signs. And so what you have is you have people approaching that intersection and they're just guessing what they should do. So if you have opposing traffic coming to an intersection, eventually somebody's going to, think that they have the right of way because they don't see a stop sign and they're going to go through. So I'm not saying we need to have stop signs everywhere throughout the sub, but there's still a few more intersections that need. Yes, unfortunately, we don't have a police department anymore. But That's what I'm saying, right, a police officer, but unfortunately what happens is the police officer sits there.
Sir,
and then-
anything else for the table?
Yes, yes, I'm sorry. The other thing is, the landfill. I'm sorry, I'm still processing this a little bit because this is the first I've heard of it. But would the landfill have to be brought up on a ballot?
That's possible, correct.
It's possible, but it's not necessary.
It's going to work, yeah, basically it's a referendum period that you request to be put to a vote of the people, kind of like how the, I don't know how many electric, like the water park, like the water park was, where it would have to be voted on, correct?
Okay, so it's possible, but it's not absolutely necessary. So the board itself could approve and go through with the landfill without the community's say.
The state and the county, when after maybe pass a resolution, the state and county already dictates what's, like the gentleman said, what's going to happen. Basically, what the resolution tonight said is, we will object to them going forward with it.
Okay. I just wanted to understand that. And just as an aside, I think you guys got a really tough job, so I'm not going to criticize you guys at all. However, I would suggest that the map that went around, thanks for making the copies of the map. But, you know, I don't have, all I have is last month's minutes. If I had a copy of the agenda, the map, maybe like an expense report, stuff like that, I think it would quell some of this stuff that's going on back here. So just a suggestion. But
Thank you for your suggestion, sir. Mr. Hunter, then, Ms. Estes.
I just have a quick statement. Be very careful with this landfill. We bought the landfill up the street here a few years ago. Those lied to us going and coming. They told us that, well, we know Canadian traffic. We stayed up there all night fighting that thing. Me, myself, a friend, Chuck, a bunch of us stayed up there all night fighting that. So when you do go in, most likely you're gonna go into it because you don't have to approve it or disapprove it. The state gonna eventually say whether to go in or not. But get whatever you can out of it and try to get the best you can out of it. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Ms. Estes.
I just had a question. Is the proposal by Rizzo available anywhere for residents to review or look at?
The host agreement?
Whatever they're proposing for this landfill, what they're basically promising us and
yeah, the
what.
host agreement.
The host agreement?
Is it available for us to review or?
You can have a copy of it. Or now?
Sure.
Do it on the website?
Yeah, I'll see you, I'll load it tomorrow again, copy of the website with the map, like you guys.
If it's on the website, I can just get it from there.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Yeah, or nay?
See you on the website. Let me see.
My question is, so when do you make a decision on the sewer thing? Whether it's gonna be taxes, water bill? And are you interested in what we would like? For
Yeah.
instance, just saying.
Obviously, each moment that you wait, you know, the further along it gets in the process, we don't have to make a decision tomorrow, but we do need to make a decision on how we want to address the tax issue. There's no D date. I don't know if you look at option 3, I think you read the workshop now. Option 3 is to continue to supplement with the general fund and the highway fund. Until, you know, if the landfill comes, until that revenue comes in, or the other option will be put on next year's tax roll, or to simply default with the county and have them sue us. I mean, but there's no, you know, I wish I could give you a granted timeline of this has to happen tomorrow. There's not one right now. Currently, if the bill comes tomorrow, we'll supplement with the general fund to pay that bill. But when you do that, your general fund obviously is going to depreciate.
So we didn't get the bill yet.
You get the bills every April and I want to say October. You get an interest bill and you get the principal bill. So we pay bonds usually twice a year. So obviously April's we've already paid with the general fund. So now October's will be the general fund. Any other comments on the floor? 1 second. Do you need to make a motion to extend the meeting?
I need her name, she didn't say
Okay. Can I get a motion to extend the meeting for another 10 minutes?
So moved.
Take a second. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Gentlemen,
I
regular.
just want to know, is the landfill going to be option 5 then, in a sense?
No.
Like 4 is going to the county, 5 would be the landfill?
This is, no, I mean, it's a legitimate question. The option, the landfill will be the I would say number 5 would landfill would be an option. If you generate, the difference is $750 that you get up front. That could cover a year of the payment. I don't know if you have a scheduled payment. So that would be an option. So what that does is buy you time. So you don't have to default, you don't have to sue, you don't have to, but it goes on from there. But there is a decision that has to be made.
So there's a chance that the taxes probably wouldn't go up if we do.
This is the ideal. This is ideal. If the landfill happens and things go as you don't have to do the taxes. You don't have to. You would make more in a service charge than you make for taxing every resident in the village of New Haven right now. Like I said, we bring in $1.2 million in the village by taxing every business and every resident. Okay. Now, if you add $1.5 million to your funds, then you obviously can possibly lower taxes, you can spend on other things.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then, well, you'll have to do 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Did they guarantee, what was the 125%? I didn't quite.
Basically, if I don't know where you live at, say you live within 1,500 feet, say you live in Amherst or DePort. If you live at 1,500 feet and you go to sell your house, and the market value, say your house is $150,000. Right. They're willing to guarantee 125% of what your house is worth. Okay. So if you go to and you can't sell it for 150 that the market value says it's worth, they'll pay 125% of what the house is worth. Okay.
Get your lawyer.
Sir.
So the chance that he could.
You come off the table. Trustee Tiller.
First, I find it appalling that some people can be bought so cheap. Second, I don't think that it's a good idea for a landfill to be placed here and garbage to be dumped on us or on this village as it has been for so long. Like I stated or indicated a while back, if we were to get rid of this building that we're in that's really not serving a purpose right now, you would save $140,000, $50,000 a year, giving you a total in 24 months over $394,000 to help the movement forward of the village. Secondly, to one of the council members or trustees that I know that stayed directly across the street from my location who has moved, and it's been quite some time, and we still don't have a location on him, which is something that is openly to everyone. So as far as, your votes, I don't even know if they even count, because I can't actually say or legally say that you are a resident of New Haven. And that's pretty much all I have to say. And I didn't vote for the landfill, because I don't think it should be here.
Anything else from the table? Trustee?
Bob, back on the decor part of placing signs, can we legally do that? Because we obtained Act 51 monies, and those are public funded money.
You're talking about the 2 new signs?
Right, I question that.
Yeah, so I raised an eyebrow on that. Well, Marcus may have looked into it, but.
They're a condo association, so we really shouldn't be doing it, but they should be putting their own signs up.
Yeah, I would think the association would
The association did try to do things like that, but then we were told by the village not to do it because it was county roads.
Well, they're public road, we get funded for them, and that's why we have to be careful. It's because of because we get money for those roads to maintain them.
But much like everybody up here, nobody's gotten a straight answer to a lot of other questions. That's the same thing that we've gotten. We'll get, one person will tell us we can, another will tell us we can't. So we're kind of in limbo.
Mr. Harris, to answer your question, I think Mrs. McKee was on the board. This was probably 2010, and that was brought up about the signs, because she wants to put, I'm talking about their housing board, not on this board. And she wanted to put up signs. I guess they have like wood signs. She wanted certain signs. Amherst, those residents paid for those signs. Their associates paid for the signs. Mr. Weaver and another gentleman approached me and Mr. Dover about the signs, and it was a concern because of the school. I asked Mr. Dover to put the signs up because that main drag, they're kids. So we put the 2 signs up. The gentleman asked me about putting no through traffic signs. I think personally, whether it's the associations or the villages, our concern should be the residents and the kids, and that's why I requested that he put those signs up.
No, I'm not denying. If that's what they need out there, that's what they need. But I don't know by law, because we collect I mean, that's public
Right.
streets. Once they turn them over to us as public streets, and I don't know if we regulate that way to, I mean, can regulate, say, you can't have through traffic, or you, certain people can only come into this. That's why I question, I mean, if it's a safety or whatever reason, I think we need to check it out before that happens. I'm all for
Any
safety.
Trustee Hill,
Oh, you closed it, I'm sorry.
yes, the table now. Trustee Hill.
I just want to say, I didn't get the information on the land usage until yesterday afternoon. And it's 48 pages long. I haven't even been able to go through each page to review everything in that landfill document. I've also wanted to say that I'm very curious about how something so important to our community be voted on so quickly and bring to this board with a resolution up under the attorney, which should be an item that's up under somebody coming from one of these council members. If you're gonna bring something like this into our community, it should come from one of these trustees. But they hide behind this attorney, is basically what's going on, because the attorney don't have the authority to go out and meet with Rizzo and come to some type of agreement. And I don't want anybody to look at the attorney as the one that's doing this. He's just doing what he was instructed to do by someone on the board. The second thing is, a resident came to me, a former resident, and they seen two trustees, the president and the attorney, discussing land at a restaurant on 23 Mile Road. Now, if this is the item you was discussing, then I think that's a problem, because I wasn't privy to this information until yesterday. I asked Trustee Tidwell if he knew anything about it. He said he did not. So, and I didn't call anybody else. He said he didn't know, and I didn't know. I think nobody else knew. But to come here, and I'm hearing some comments from over here about this land usage, that he knew a lot more than what I was privy to know. I'm concerned about this. I'm very concerned about what's happening here. And the way this agenda is set up, the clerk should know what item is on this agenda and instruct the item as it should be, as it was voted on. It was not some community grant or project. It was a landfill decision. And that's what should have been placed on the board. We should have had a town hall meeting about something this important, so that everybody would have a voice on it, just like we did with the Dwarf project. People became very concerned about it. We had a town hall meeting. The meeting led to petitions. The petitions were signed. A vote was taken, and the people decided that's what they wanted. Give our people the opportunity to have a voice on this issue. Especially, I'd like to see a little bit more. I call the real estate agent, ask, will people land depreciate? Can somebody guarantee that your land won't depreciate? The real estate agent laughed at me. They said, well, you want to be on America's Funny Home Video? Are you kidding me? And he said, yes, your land will depreciate. There's no way it won't depreciate. They said it will be harder to sell the property. So if that's the only thing I got, and that's the only thing I can bring to the table, because I haven't had the chance to really go through this thoroughly. I'm not saying that this is a good idea or a bad idea, but give me the opportunity to review it and get a lot more information than was brought before me on this last minute yesterday. And give people more credit and put it on the agenda as it's being presented, because I don't think it was fair to our community. Some people that's not here that don't know about it, they're going to be very upset about it. So be prepared, those people who voted yes, I voted no, be prepared to answer their questions.
Thank you. Can I get another motion to extend the meeting for 5 minutes? I know we have to make a motion to extend the meeting though.
So moved.
All in favor? Any opposed? 5 more minutes. Trustee, Treasurer Pazno.
Okay, an important point was brought up. Daniel Steer, where do you live?
Same question and answer session. Make a statement, please.
You don't have to answer it.
I know you don't.
I mean, that's.
If we find out that you have left the village of New Haven and that you're no longer a resident, then there is a problem with you sitting on the board.
It's been a question to all, well, not only him, it's been more than just him of showing residency. So if that's the case, I think everyone on this board should show residency.
I'll show one.
I live on the corner of Clarkson Street, so.
Go ahead.
That's the problem.
Go ahead.
I guess my concern is, since you don't have a water bill and you don't have a tax bill, if you're not a resident here and we find out that you are, it'll invalidate everything that you voted on. Are you aware of that?
You don't care if there's a
You gotta answer it, man.
You know what, it's not funny, because these people have to hold each other accountable. That's one of those things that if you're up here making votes and you're making decisions on things, I hope you live here.
Anything else on the table?
Yes.
One quick announcement. August 10th, the Rose Cellar Floors have their downtown community event from noon to 8 p.m. Live music, food, arts and crafts, car show. Come out and support that downtown.
I'd like to know, since this board is so conscious of what they say and do, why, first of all, this board votes to have other people's water cut off when they're delinquent. Secondly, if you read in the paper about 2 or 3 weeks ago, this was tested in Chesterfield where a person may have had to move out of the community for a certain period and they were allowed to stay on the board. So I don't think you have any merit to that, and everyone should be able to show residency because a lot of people who sit on this board are not taxpayers.
Can I motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Yeah, second. All in favor? Any opposed? It's 10:13, as we say.
What you gonna put on the agenda?
Kristen, I got free. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I want to go. Sorry. Thank you. Give it to Jane. It's less than what you did. Give it to
Lennox won't give it to us. Waste management. So this is like forced effect. So if I'm going to be paying the ticket, it's going to be a land. Do you load the most money? I don't upload the minutes to CBS, the
I can only upload the main minutes because I didn't do the June minutes. So hopefully by this week, it should be next day or two.
But these guys, they get it. They got people got the like that. It comes down after the support them. They'll see us up and down, and then it's like, well, we can't stop it. So I'll let you know about that, but it's something you need to look into further. I'll let you know.